I am in awe right now. I am just stunned. This movie is incredible. It is fantastic. I can't believe it. They actually did it. I don't know how they did it, but they made a competent movie out of this franchise. Once again, Planet of the Apes. Oh, Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
It's monkey-rific!
That's a real stupid title. I mean, it would make sense to call it Rise of the Apes, but then again, people are stupid. Oh yeah, Planet of the Apes, I remember that. I remember that movie. I grew up with that movie. I'm gonna go see that. But if it's just Rise of the Apes, they'd be like, Rise of the Apes? What is that? Is that... What is this? What? Ugh. Get that away from me. What, a bunch of apes get smart and take over? Oh, that's stupid. That's just like Planet of the Apes. What, did Hollywood run out of ideas? They're stealing it now? That's exactly how it would transpire. That's exactly how it would go. So, Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Redundant. Nonetheless, this is a great movie. The plot is, the scientist, Will, he is working on a cure to Alzheimer's using this genetically modified virus. And it works. It works a little too well on the apes, and it makes them smarter than normal. However, the first one they try goes nuts, runs amok, and gets shot to death. And so this guy, Jacobs, who's in charge of the project and is the typical I like money, I am a business guy who works for a pharmaceutical company, he orders the rest of them killed. I don't get that. I mean, if one goes crazy but the experiments work, wouldn't you continue it? Just say, well, this is just a mishap? Well, whatever. He's an idiot, obviously. So they kill him all except for this one baby, and to save his life, Will takes him home out of a sense of compassion and personal involvement. He raises him as his own. He lives alone with just his dad, who has Alzheimer's. So yes, you can see the motivation of him wanting to cure this disease. And it gets a little whimsical after that. You get Caesar roaming around the house, flipping around and everything. I thought that was a little charming. I thought that was charming. I thought it was great. However, as you would expect, things go wrong. Caesar has a little mishap with one of the neighbors, and this poor neighbor, he gets it bad and he really doesn't deserve it. First, he attacks the chimp because he invades his yard and scares the hell out of his kids. So, yeah, don't blame him for defending himself, but then the chimp ends up almost biting off one of his fingers, and after Will's dad takes a car and smashes the neighbor's car up, and as if he deserved it. I mean, he wasn't being a prick or anything. Why did this guy deserve everything that happened to him? And there's one thing I can't, well, I'll keep silent on that right now. And so Caesar gets put into this pen with all these other chimpanzees who are practically bored to insanity because they got this little enclosure and they have to stay in cages most of the day. And the movie does give us a little bit of ape society, and it's probably a lot more sophisticated in the movie than it is in real life, but who am I to judge, because I am not a biologist. I don't know anything about this kind of subject, so I'll just let it go because I don't know any better. I am glad that there was one scientist that corrected Will and said these are not monkeys, these are apes. So many people make that mistake, including me half the time, so I'm glad they at least said that. I wish they would have went a little step further and reminded everyone that even humans are classified as apes, but I guess that would be a little too controversial. Will's girlfriend that he runs into at the zoo, and they hook up, and she plays the role of being his girlfriend, really. There's no real significant role that she plays other than to be there as a supportive member of his family. Between him, his dad, and the monkey. Ape. Chimpanzee. My bad. Caesar himself is mostly probably computer animated, I imagine. It seems like he is. But he works. emotional cues from him. It is actually, you actually feel for this character, believe it or not. You actually feel for him. You actually feel for his struggle, his revelation of who he is and what he is and where he came from.
I'm taking him out of here, right now.
Not without a court order, you're not.
Hey. No, we're not going home right now. But I'm gonna get you out of here. I promise. You have to trust me. Caesar, you have to trust me, okay?
I think this visit's over.
It'll be okay.
And also through his rise to power. It's quite amazing seeing this played out so well on this movie. This movie could have went wrong in so many ways. I was expecting this to involve the apes taking over the world within an hour and a half feature, and all the retardedness that would come with that. But no, they kept things small, they kept things minute. They kept things a little personal. Whether it's because of budget constraints that the movie's better or not. There's a lot more emotion in this. The action doesn't overshadow it. There's actually not a lot of action in this movie. Yeah, if anyone complains about, oh, this is all just nothing but the monkey and the scientist and the girlfriend, and they weren't doing anything. They weren't throwing cars up throughout the whole movie, and they weren't blowing things up or anything like that. They weren't even killing people. Caesar, at one point, he forbids his kind from killing some humans. Yeah, well, you know what? Go see Transformers 3 again. Why not? Just don't even bother with this movie if that's how you're going to respond to it. Go see Transformers 3 then, okay? You can shut up, enjoy your Gaga movie, and stay the hell away from me. Well, first I have to get one of the more weaker moments in the movie, and that's when they say the line, "Get your paws off me, you damn dirty ape." It was so forced. It did not have to be in that movie. It's like they woke up one day and said, we have to get this line in the movie. No matter what we do, we gotta figure out how to get that line in the movie, because that's a selling point for the trailer when we premiere it or something like that. I don't know why they had that line in the movie, just to pay homage to the original. It's not clever, it's just stupid. And there's also a line where Will's father picks up the baby Caesar and he's like, "Oh, Caesar, bow down in wonder," or some kind of speech like that I just know had to have come from one of the other movies. I just know it. Which is fine in that case, but the other case was just horrible. And speaking of that caretaker, the scene, he goes in this enclosure alone with a 250-pound chimpanzee. And already I'm reminiscing of Zookeeper of all movies, where this guy goes alone in this enclosure with a gorilla to torture him. And in Planet of the Apes, he's in this enclosure alone, and all he has is a little taser. And I'm thinking, I don't think that's enough to stop any kind of chimpanzee, really. It might scare him off a little bit, but technically they can rip off your arms and face and any other part they get a hold of. Oh yeah, he has a friend with a dart gun, but really, you're alone in this cage with this thing. You're not gonna win. It's like the trailer suggests. Caesar gets his kind, smart, like him. They escape and run amok. The action was actually pretty good. I do think the cops would have been using their guns a little more in the action scenes. All these police guys are running on horses, and it's like they're fighting a medieval battle with these clubs, just whacking them on the head. I think they'd be using their guns a little bit more, just saying. And that scene involving the helicopter, it is a lot more epic in the movie than it is on the trailer. I'll promise you that. I mean, it was one of those rare moments. I can't even remember the last time I was just like, holy shit. Really, it was that good. There was one thing they should have explored a little more, but they didn't. It was the whole moral implication of, yeah, you made this ape smarter than... how do I word this? Basically, the moral implications of making something that's essentially stupid and making it smarter than the rest of them. You can only imagine how something like that would make a person feel. Because really, at that point, he would be considered a person. He is that smart. He is beyond his own race and human race. So yeah, how you can only imagine in your head how that would make you feel. Imagine how cruel it would have been if they did it to like a cow or a dog. If they gave that drug to them. You know, for one thing, they don't have thumbs. So yeah, you're a highly intelligent mutt that can talk and really can't do anything else. Well, yeah, if they did it to pigeons, I guess you would just have Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds in the end. So yeah, that wouldn't work. But yeah, dogs would just be sad and hilarious. Or maybe even dolphins. Yeah, Planet of the Dolphins. I can just picture that. Be like the Simpsons episode, taken seriously. The best part by far is how they kept the story small. That was one thing that was so relieving, is that it's not trying to be some epic, the world is at stake type of thing. It was personal and character driven. Oh yes, and I have a little section I'll consider a spoiler, but I have to say it. This movie works as a set prequel to the next movie that's coming out in September, Contagion. Really. You want to know how? It's because, well, the thing that they use for the cure in Planet of the Apes is a virus, and it turns out that it only helps the apes, but it kills humans. And judging by its effects, and it'll probably mutate and go airborne. So yeah. Funny if you think about it, right now, by the looks of the Contagion trailer, that works as a unofficial sequel to it. Because it does make sense. I mean, while the plague's going on and everything, what the hell are the apes going to do? They're so small in number, all they're going to do is just roam around the woods and probably breed and form their own society while this is all going on. So yeah, I find it real amusing that, I don't know, I'll have to see the movies just to see, because as far as I'm concerned, yeah, it works, yeah, it's a sequel. Why not? I mean, I can't gush anymore about this movie. So overall, honestly, I give it an 8 out of 10. Because the one thing that holds it back is because, well, it's Planet of the Apes, and I think we've done this enough now. So, yes, Fox, you proved to us all that you can make a competent movie with this franchise. Can we put it to rest now? Can we put it to bed? Can we refrain from remaking the original yet again? I really have little interest in seeing a remake, no matter how well it's done. Okay? I don't want to see the same story again. We all already know the story. If we're going to make something, make either another prequel-ish movie or make a sequel-ish movie. And yet again, keep it small. Keep it a little smaller scale. Please don't have Rise of the Humies, where the humans take over again, or something stupid like that. Other than that, I think I have nothing else to say, really. So, until next time, bye.
It's monkey-rific!